Good morning, everyone. This is Youssef, and I hope you are doing good today. Today, we will be going over our second room in the introduction to offensive security. So we will be going over operating system security. So let's go. Okay, so in this room, we have 3 tasks. The first one is Introduction to Operating System Security, Common Examples of OS Security, and the last one is a practical example of OS security. So first, we need to know what is an operating system. Okay, before we speak about operating system, we will talk about hardware first. So hardware is the parts that makes up your computer. It's the parts that you can touch and see, such as the keyboard. So the keyboard, you can see it and touch it, and many other parts like the screen, the desktop board, which is the main part of the computer, which contains the main brain of the computer, which is the CPU, for example, and also all the hardware parts are connected to it. So this part is the most important hardware part. But let's be honest, the hardware parts themselves are just useless. It's solid. We need something to tell them what to do and control them. And here where the importance of an operating system comes. The operating system is responsible for controlling all of this and organize the collaboration between the hardware and the software and makes them work together. So the operating system is the layer that we can install our software and application on, and it organizes the communication between the hardware and software. There are different types of operating systems, some of them for laptops and desktops, and some of them for phones such as iOS and Android, also some of them for servers such as AIX and Oracle Solaris. So let's ask ourselves a question why we care about keeping operating systems safe. Let's take some examples to see why keeping operating systems safe is so important. In our operating system, we will be having a lot of private information such as our conversations, or our photos, our emails, maybe our passwords, and the list goes on. And this isn't only related to your phones, but also our PCs and laptops, and even the servers, so we should keep all of this safe and secure. So the term security, we can group it in 3 main things. We need to keep them valid, which is the CIA, or confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So what does all of this mean? Confidentiality means that we need to make sure that data can only be accessible by the people related to it. Integrity means no one should be edit these data unless they allowed to. Availability means that you can access these data whenever you want. So this is what the CIA is. And in the next tasks, we will see some of the attacks that we can take to break the CIA. Okay, great, now it's quiz time. Which of the following is not an operating system? AIX, Android, Chrome OS, Solaris, Thunderbird. Okay, great job. It's Thunderbird. And now let's go to our second task. Task number 2, Common Examples of OS Security. As we previously said, the main 3 components in the security world that we should keep are the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. But here in this task, we will looking on 3 examples where we will be breaking the CIA. The 3 examples are authentication and weak passwords, weak file permissions, and malicious programs. So let's start. Okay, first authentication and weak passwords. So what is authentication? Authentication is the process of verifying who you are, and this process can be achieved in 3 ways. The first one is something you know. For example, your password. So your password is something you know, and you can use it to verify your identity. Secondly, something you are such as your fingerprint. Lastly is something you have, such as an ID or your phone number. As we all know, passwords are the most used way of authentication. So that means it's the most attacked. And this might be dangerous when we are using common passwords or personal information that might be guessed. And here TryHackMe is giving us the top 20 used passwords at all, which is so dangerous. So the best practice over here is to choose complex passwords that's not easy to be guessed. Second, we will be talking about weak file permissions. The best way to describe the weak file permissions is giving privileges to people who shouldn't be having these privileges or having access to the files that they shouldn't have access to. For example, if there's financial files that we have on our system, only people working on the financial services should have access to it, not everyone. So if we kept the weak file permissions that might allow hackers do get access to stuff and files that they shouldn't be accessing. Lastly, we will be talking about access to malicious programs. Malicious programs can attack the three parts of security, the CIA. So let's start with our first example, the Trojan horses. So it allows the attacker to have an access to your system, so he will be looking at files or even modify them. Also, we have a ransomware, which we spoke about before. But this type of malware attacks the availability, so it attacks one of the CIA, which is the availability. Okay, great, and now it's quiz time. Which of the following is a strong password, in your opinion? I love you, 1Q2W3E4R5T, LearnM00R Quartuyop. And if we check the list of top 20, we won't find LearnM00R. So that means that the answer is LearnM00R. And good job, we got the correct answer. So now our second task is over, and let's go to our last task for today. So usually during an attack, the attacker will be trying to get remote access on the system. The attacker might be doing this through tricking the target, so he runs a malicious file that the attacker sent to the target, so it will give him a remote access to the device, or through finding log and credentials. The next step after gaining access is finding a way to escalate your privileges. So in Windows environment, you will be looking for a way to make you the administrator. And if you become the administrator, you can do everything you want to the machine you attacked. In Linux and Mac environment, we don't call it administrator, but we call it root, so you will be looking for a way that'll allow you to become the root. In today's lab, we will be attacking a Linux machine. And don't worry, TryHackMe will be giving us all the commands and the information that we need to work with the Linux machine in this room. First, what we need to do is to start the machine that we will be using to hack into our target. So we need to click the blue button, start the attack box. Second, we need to start the machine we will be attacking, so we need to click the green button, start machine. Okay, good job. We need to give it a minute until it boots up, and let's get back when it does. Okay, good job. The two machines have started, and they are ready to be used. The first thing we need to start once we open our attack box is the terminal. And as we previously said, the terminal will be our most important tool as ethical hackers, so we need to be good at this. Also, we will be going over a lot of rooms that will teach us how to use it. So TryHackMe is giving us a scenario that might happen to us. So we were hired by a specific company to test their security. So one time we went to their office, and on one of the offices, we saw a sticky note with two words, Sammy and Dragon, on one of the screens. So this might be a log and credentials that we might use. So let's check this. So we will be trying to log in with the SSH protocol. This protocol allows us to have a remote secure access to any machine that has this protocol working. So we will try the credentials that we find to log in to this system. Okay, we will be using the following command to try to log in. Username at IP address. By the way, when you start the target machine, you should get its IP address that you will be attacking. It should be automatically assigned to it. Okay, let's get back here. After we use this command, it's asking us to put a password. So we will be using the password that we saw, which is Dragon. And great, it worked, and we have an access to this machine. So just to confirm it, we will be using this command, Womi. And this command tells us what user are we using. And great, it's telling us that we are Sammy. Also, another important command is the ls command, which we use to list the unhidden directories. So also keep this one in mind. Also, another important command is the cat command. This command, we can use it to display the content of any text file. So let's try all of these commands. So let's type ls. Okay, it lists all the files and directories we have, and we can see that we have a txt file here called passwords. Text, okay, so let's cat this one. Okay, type cat passwords. Text. Okay, it displayed its content. Another important command is history. This one displays the commands that was used by this machine user. Another thing we discovered, or that was given to us by TryHackMe, is another user names, which is Linda and Johnny. And we can also try to connect to them using the SSH command as we previously did with Sammy. So we know that these two users don't have good knowledge about cybersecurity, so they use very common and weak passwords that we found before in the top 20 list. Okay, so what we can do now is try to log in as one of these users, so we will try Johnny. So if we were logged in as Sammy, we can switch to Johnny by typing this command, SU Johnny. Or if you weren't logged in as Sammy, you can try to log into Johnny using this command, SSHJohnny at IP address. So we are logged in as Sammy, so I will just switch the user, so I will be typing this command. Johnny. Okay, it's asking us to provide a password. And as we previously said, Johnny isn't good at cybersecurity, so he uses very weak and common passwords. So if we tried some passwords from the list that was provided by TryHackMe, such as ABC 123. So let's try this one and see what will happen. And yes, as we guessed, he uses this weak password, and we were able to switch the user to Johnny. Okay, no, let's try to answer the question that we have for this task. Okay, the first question. Based on the top 7 passwords, let's try to find Johnny's password. What is the password for the user, Johnny? Okay, as we found it before, it was ABC 123. And good job, we got a correct answer. Next question. Once you are logged in as Johnny, use the command history to check the commands that Johnny has typed. We expect Johnny to have mistakenly typed the root password instead of a command. What is the root password? Okay, if we looked here, the only thing that looks suspicious is happyhackng. Okay, so let's try this one. And good job, we got a correct answer. Next, while logged in as Johnny, use the command su root to switch to the root account. Display the contents of the file flag taxi in the root directory. What is the content of the file? So let's try this command to switch user to root, which will give us higher privileges and full access to everything. So we will be typing su root. Okay, let's type it and give it the password that we previously found. Okay, and good job, we got the root access. So let's type ls to see what files we have. We got a flag text. Let's cat this file. Okay, we got the flag that we will be using to answer that question, so let's copy it, and let's paste it, and submit it, and good job, we got the correct answer. Okay, good job so far, guys. We had an enjoyable room today. We had a practical experience today. So I hope enjoyed our video. If you did, don't forget to like the video and leave a comment. Also, if you aren't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe and follow our page on Instagram. And see you in the next video.